Today's gonna be a pretty boring day, so in addition to taking you around for the vlog, I'm also gonna tell you guys the story of the time that I rode my bicycle across the United States. So the journey really begins my senior year of high school. I had gotten into college and I just wanted to break away from the private academic system. So I decided I was gonna take a gap year. And the first thing I planned was to ride my bicycle coast to coast across the US because I had gotten into cycling and I wanted to experience the part of the country that I didn't really know, because I'm a very sheltered Los Angeles boy, but I didn't really know what middle America was really like, so I decided what better way than to ride my bicycle. That's the logical thing to do, right? Just to take a 4,000-mile bike ride. My parents wouldn't let me do this kind of thing by myself. I was 18 years old, so I recruited my older brother to take a semester off from his college. He was a junior at the time, and also just like a month and a half before this trip began, I convinced my best friend Jason to defer from NYU, also take a gap year and ride across the country with me. So the team turned into 3 people: my older brother, Jason, and me. And the way it started was me and Jason graduated high school in the spring of 2011. And then in August of 2011, we began the journey. So my parents drove us from Los Angeles up the coast to Portland, Oregon. From Oregon, we then took a train to Seattle, Washington. And then from Seattle, we took a long 3-day train ride all the way to the East Coast to Washington, D.C., where my good friend Lane picked us up. And there we sort of hung out, got our bikes together for 2 days, fixed any little mechanical issues, got our saddlebags all ready, and we started the trip in Virginia Beach, Virginia on the coast. We dunked our tires in the Atlantic Ocean and started pedaling home to Los Angeles, California. That's really how it went, and it was just a day-by-day journey. You know, at the beginning, those bikes were so heavy, we didn't know what we were doing. We would only ride, 20 or 30 miles a day, probably the first week. The route that we took was we started in Virginia and we went to Kentucky, Southern Illinois, Missouri, Kansas, Colorado, and then from there, that's where we departed from the adventure cycling route, because that goes up to Oregon, but it was getting cold at that time. So instead, we went down to New Mexico, Arizona, California. Everything crazy happened in that trip that was unexpected in the best way. I mean, it felt like we were on a Disneyland roller coaster magical ride for 81 days straight. And probably the best thing that happened on this trip was on, I think, the 5th day, we were riding in Virginia and we see a guy parked with his bike on the side of the road taking some pictures of hay bales. And he looked just like us. He had big saddlebags on his bike, so we obviously went over and said, "Hey, what's up? What are you doing?" Turned out to be this 27-year-old dude named Adam from Pennsylvania. He was a plumber, and he was like, "Hey, I'm riding to California." And we were like, "We are too. You want to go get some lunch at the diner and, just talk?" And we pretty much just hit it off, connected. And we did the remaining 76 days with this guy every single day, slept at the same places, rode with him, and he's literally like a brother to me now. I talk to him on the phone every couple weeks. We went to his wedding 2 years ago. He's visited me at college twice. I mean, he's a huge part of my life, him and his wife now. So that was probably the most amazing thing. So the trio turned into 4 of us. Well, first off, we never planned any places to stay. Out of all the 81 days, we only paid to sleep in motels about 8 times. So most of it was camping and setting up a tent in a city park or sort of out into a field off the side of the road. We would also roll into these tiny towns and people would just come out and talk to us, and we would convince them that we were nice people and they would let us stay in their home. And we also got really into calling fire stations or police offices the day you know, we would wake up and guess where we would assume where we would be later that day, and we would call a fire station and be like, hey, do you have any place for us to stay? We're college students biking across the country, and almost every time they let us stay in the firehouse. So I was vegetarian at the time. I'd been vegetarian for 4 years. I was not vegan. We were biking, you know, by the maybe 3rd week on, we were biking 70, 80 miles a day with 50-pound bikes up lots of hills. So, I mean, we probably ate 6,000 calories a day to maintain our body weight. And a typical breakfast for me at that time, you know, I was in a different part of my life. I was vegetarian, but I did not care about health and nutrition. It was all, I just didn't like to have meat on my plate. So I ate tons of junk food throughout this trip, drank tons of beer, smoked weed. It was a great time. It was amazing, and I don't regret any of it. It completely changed my life. It made me the person I am today. But just know that it was a fun, rowdy, crazy couple of guys biking across the country and chilling out. So a typical day was wake up at, you know, 6:30, 7:30 a.m., bike to the local diner and literally eat, you know, a stack of pancakes, 3 eggs, toast, waffles, muffins, just anything we could, any carbs we could possibly eat, and then we would head off on the road and pretty much bike from, you know, 9 a.m. to 5 or 6 p.m. Taking breaks along the way, going to gas stations. I also got my first tattoo on this trip, the one on my ankle of the Infinity bike chain. It was in, I think, Pittsburgh, Kansas. It was like the middle of the trip, and I found a tattoo shop. We were staying at a frat that night. We just knocked on the door and the guys let us party and stay with them, and I got a tattoo. But yeah, it was just one of the best times of my life in terms of having no worries in the world, getting to exercise nonstop every day. So yeah, that's just a little bit about the journey. Go to groovinacrossamerica.blogspot.com to see our sort of daily blog journal that we kept throughout that trip with tons more pictures. All right, headed to the gym, and today is my 2nd leg day of the week. I'm actually excited for it, so I think this twice a week split is going well. I'm focusing on the hamstrings and glutes in this leg workout. We're the only 2 vegan athletes in the gym.
Yeah, oh yeah, no doubt.
I mean, you never know.
Hey, right, I gotta show you this. Check out my shaker bottle stickers.
There you go. Damn, this is heavy, dude. That's no joke. All right, let's get it. That's a lot of weight. You guys want to hear how she does that? Listen to the podcast episode that's up today. Just did intervals on the Stairmaster, 250 calories, took me 20 minutes. I'm gonna stretch it out, down my smoothie waiting for me in the car. Done with that shit. Bring your smoothie in the car. Immediately everything's all better. I'm telling you guys, if you save a little bit of your banana smoothie, put it in your oatmeal, it is really good. Wasabi peas are really good in salad, but they're really spicy. All right, guys, I'm gonna go chase a sunset. Yesterday at this time, there was like a orange sunburst sunset effect type thing, but looks like it's not as good tonight, but we'll still get something. All right, just got that time-lapse action and did a little bit of editing on this porch, and now I'm headed to my friend John's house. He invited me to game night. No one came to game night, so John and I are playing Scrabble together. This one will be the 21st one. Look at this, crazy. Well, I hope you liked my story. To hear about my bike trip, again, go to groovinacrossamerica.blogspot.com if you want to just browse more pictures. Super fun. If you ever want to travel and tour on a bike, I highly recommend it. I will see you guys on Wednesday for another Q&A, so if you have questions you want me to answer, leave them in the comments of this video. Other than that, guys, eat some figs if you're in California, if you're in a place that fig season is poppin'. Dream extreme, much love. See you guys next time.